took over we took over 34 RR on BTC, and today very quickly I'm going to be showing you how I made all that possible. As you can see on my chart, I took this trade, took the third one, took the fourth one, and exited right here. And immediately after the exit, price reversed. I'm going to explain why we exited here and why price reversed. But more so, I'm going to be explaining why these trades went easily and why we were able to catch the bullish run, okay, on BTC last week, thereabout. Yeah. So three things I've thought on this channel. The first I thought was bias. Three good things. The second thing I thought was volume POI. Okay, that's the second thing I thought. The the third thing I thought was CRT. Now, the entire being of my trading existence is centered around these three things. Okay, so if you understand these three things, which are very easy, trust me, they're very easy to understand. If you understand these three things and you apply them just as we're going to apply them today to understand how we took these three trades last week, then the next week for you is going to be quite easy. Yeah. So I'm just going to delete all of this so that we could start from beginning. We can start from beginning and understand. All right. Now let's go to the weekly chart very quickly and then see one thing. I want to show you why we exited at that point. Now, if you followed my directional bias class, you would understand that this here is a sign of reversal. Okay, price forming a candle, and then the next week price mitigates the low of that candle and rejects and closes within that range. All right, once we see something like this, we put it in the range. Okay, we put it in the range means that the high of the candle becomes the target. I hope you're following. The high of this candle, which price mitigates, then becomes the target. The high of the low. Okay, this could be, this could go the other way around. All right. So if a candle forms and price comes and mitigates the low, then the high of that previous candle becomes the target. If a candle forms and price goes and mitigates the high, then the low of that candle becomes the target. All right, this is CRT principle. A lot of people call it, you could hear people calling it turtle soup, you could hear people call it the power of three. All right, but this is a reversal signal. Okay, this is a sign that yes, there were sellers, but then the sellers couldn't continue below this range and went up. All right, so it's also still possible for price to close within this range and still flush back down. Okay, so let us go to the daily time frame, and then I've shown you we why this place was our target, why we exited here. Okay, because of this CRT model here on the weekly. Okay, we exited here. All right, so let me show you our daily bias. All right, now because of the CRT model, we've been expecting price to give us some sort of bullish structure so that we could capitalize on it on the lower time frames and then buy up to the target. All right. But then what happened? The price kept consolidating here until something happened around here, and I'm going to show you which is where we started taking our buy orders from. Now let's zoom in. If you followed our class on bias, I clearly explained that if price breaks the high of the previous day or week or anything, but I prefer to use the daily chart. If price breaks the high or the low of the previous day and closes above it, what do we call that? We call that a continuation pattern. Very quickly, let me show you something down here. Let me show you why understanding daily bias in this form is important. Now let's look at this point. Okay, we have this candle, and this is the high and this is the low. All right, what the price do the next day? Sweeps that low but doesn't close below it, and doesn't still close above it. All right, uncertainty. Okay, giving a sign that there's a possible reversal to the upside, but yeah, the next day it tries to push up, doesn't close above, doesn't close below. All right, the next day pushes up, doesn't close above, doesn't close below. Next day same thing, no above, no below, no above. So you could see that in this entire area, price has been consolidating. All right, so understanding daily bias in this form ensures that you miss out on consolidations. You don't trade in consolidations, because during consolidations you have a lot, and I mean a lot of manipulations. All right, so watching price in this format or in this method is the easiest way for you to understand the direction of price. Okay, so let's now move on to when we started trading. We started trading just around here. Once we saw that price broke through this high and closed above it, it was a signal that the next day price was probably going to shoot up. You with me? Okay, so let's now look at what happened in the next day. Let's look at what happened. I'm gonna put it with two candles, and then let's go over to 4 hours. All right. Now we have understood our bias, which is the direction price is going in. Now, what we want to do next is find our POI. All right, finding our POI. Remember, I told you the first thing you want to do is understand the bias. The second thing you want to do is find the POI using volume. And the third thing you want to do is find an entry using CRT. Okay, understand bias to give you direction. Understand POI to look for opportunities. Okay, understand CRT for proper entry. Take note of these three things. Is going to change your trading game if you really want to trade like me in 2026. This is going to change your trading game. So we've understood the daily bias. What we go next to do is find the POI. Now the POI using volume is an area in the previous day. Take notes. Is an area in the previous day. Okay, an area in the previous day where there was high volume, and you want to look for this on the 4 hour time frame. All right, so this entire day that we have marked here was the previous day. This is the day where we are looking for the entry. All right, now our POI is the 4 hour candle with highest volume, which is this candle. All right. It means that the next day, it means that the next day price is going to come into this candle, okay, and find an opportunity to buy. Okay, it's going to seek for this volume. All right, take note of this. I'm saying it always happens. Price is going to come into the previous day's volume, the previous day's highest volume on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, the candle with the highest volume. Price is going to come into that candle and seek this volume, this high volume. It's going to find it. Okay, now that could either be an order block, it could be a power candle, it could be anything. So we're going to mark that candle just so we understand what we're looking for. Let's mark this candle and then go down to probably the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Follow this carefully. Follow this carefully. I'm going to put on my order block indicator so that we can see what happened right there. Good. Let me just let me close the volume so that I don't distract you from the main point. Okay, so we've come right into that 4 hour candle. All right, we've come into that 4 hour candle and we've come down to the lower time frame. All right, now what do we see there? We see an order block. It's a 1 hour order block. All right, but it's very big. Okay, it's a big zone. Now this entire zone is an area of interest with high volume. Take note, it is an area of interest with high volume inside a higher volume 4 hour candle, which makes it a strong point of interest. All right. Now, what will price do here? Price will come back into this zone. I'm sure if you still go down to a lower time frame, you probably find another zone. But this one we found is actually enough, more than enough. All right. So let me quickly mark that zone. Sorry. Mark the zone. Now, once the zone is marked, you can then go down to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, any time that feels good to you. Okay, you can go down and look for a CRT model. Remember, the first one is trading bias. Okay, understand the direction so that you understand in what direction you're looking for the setup. The second one is finding the POI using volume, and the third one is finding a proper entry using CRT. Okay, so I could use 30 minutes. I could use 30 minutes. Good. 30 minutes gives us the proper CRT. Now, with 30 minutes time frame, you can see a CRT model form properly around here. I'm just going to mark it and show you this is exactly what I did. This is exactly what I did. Okay, CRT model. All right. Entry just below the open of that candle. I often put my entry somewhere around here, but you could put your entry anywhere. You could just go in on the third candle. Doesn't matter. Okay, what matters is your risk appetite. Okay, so but at this point, everything you've had like three confirmations. You've had trading bias confirmation, you've had POI confirmation, and now you're getting CRT confirmation. You can hardly go wrong with these three steps. All right, so you could put your stuff here, put this under here. All right, and then you could decide to take the high. Okay, you could decide to take the previous day's high. Okay, which is a decent 6 hour, very decent 6 hour, or or you could be like me and decide to just take it to the target, swing it to the target. But be rest assured, all right, be very rest assured that what that anything could you could have a retracement anytime here. Okay, probably you just wanted to be taking the 6 hour and then come in the next day. Okay, you could do that. Okay, very much possible. You could do that. All right. So this is exactly what I did. You could do the same thing for the next day. Let me quickly go to the next day and just show you. These things happen with practice. Okay, it's not luck or chance. These things happen with practice. So you could see the entry on this day to the high. Let's go to the next day. Let's move it to the next day and find an entry. All right, the next day. The next day, we're still on the same bias. Now let's find the volume POI for that day. All right. Now within this day, where is the volume strongest? You could see that it is around here, around this mark. Okay, the volume strongest around this candle, on this particular candle, on this particular candle, the volume is strongest, which means that in this next day, price is going to come into this candle and does what? Look for an area of interest and then kick back up. Anything that makes price to break, anything that makes price break below this candle, just understand that there is a possible sign of reversal. Okay, anything that makes price break below this power candle means that there's a possible sign of reversal. Okay, is either price is about to reverse or price is about to consolidate. Okay, but usually price is not supposed to break below or above the power candle. It's supposed to continue. It's supposed to go into that candle, seek, okay, seek for the volume, okay, seek for the volume and take off. All right. So let's look into this candle. Let's look into this candle and see what happened. All right. So we go down to 1 hour time frame. Let me check the 30 minutes time frame. There's nothing there. Come down to the 15 minutes. Okay, what am I looking for? I'm either looking for an order block or a power candle. 15 minutes, still nothing there. Let's come down to the 5 minutes, and that's where I'm going to stop. All right, looking for a power candle. Okay, once you understand this, it makes everything very easy. I can see a power candle. I can see a power candle somewhere around here. Now, what's the power candle? I define a power candle as a candle that has not been retested. Okay, as you can see, this candle is whole. Okay, let me just delete this line so you can see it. So you could see it clearly. This candle is whole. Price has not come back to retest it, which means it's an area of high demand. As you can see, the next candle left it with so much volume. Means that there are some buy orders left here. Okay, so price is definitely going to come back to that. Okay, all of this is going to sound confusing, but trust me, if you go back and rewatch this video, you totally understand what I'm talking about. Now watch this. Price comes back into the power candle, and what does price do? What does price do? Exit. Okay, price does what? Exit. These three things work. Okay, trust me when I say it work. Probably do not have the energy to explain a lot like your other YouTubers, but I'm going to trust me when I say I'm going to teach you what works. Okay, these are secrets that nobody teaches you because they don't know it. Okay, but um, we're not just going to put our pending order and because we know it works, we have to find the next. We have to follow the next step, which is CRT. Okay, so we understand the buyers, we found the power candle, which is an area of interest. Then we're going to wait for the CRT, which happened on, it happened here on 45 minutes time frame. It also happened 1 hour. I think it also happened 4 hours. So as you can see, price mitigates the low, closes within the range, and on the third candle, it does what? Put here and does what? You can, like I said, target the um our main target. You can take it, extend it to our main target, which is the weekly target, and then you have yourself 13R clean. All right. There was another entry here. I'm just not going to explain it. Another entry here is just same thing. If you go back to your chart, do the same thing we've done here and previous down, and then you see how I took this entry here. Three good entries from last week, and we bagged over 34 RR. All right, this was a good, very good trade here. Bagged, simple. Okay, as you can see, stop loss very small, reward very good. All right, accuracy, stop loss very small, reward very good, and very accurate because you are following daily bias. Two, you're following you're looking for opportunities on the POI, and three, you're doing what? You're using CRT as a confirmation. Number one, bias. Number two, volume POI, and number three, CRT confirmation. All right. I keep repeating these three things, and I'm going to repeat it all around my videos. Anywhere you see me, I repeat these three things. Do not forget them. Wish you good luck. Goodbye.